everybody, XP Gamer here, and welcome to another video about one of my short stories. This time being the short story I wrote called Restless War, which is about the game that I let's played not too long ago actually, The Messenger. So I wrote this because, well, I really like The Messenger and its witty dialogue, and it was amazing. So I'd like to go over what I did last time, and this is going to become routine for all of my story videos. First off, this story will obviously contain spoilers for The Messenger, along with some of the story will be pretty accurate to the game. A lot of it won't be, because it's my writing style and I chose to exclude some things and I chose to make others very obvious in the story. And lastly, please give your opinion in the comments about my writing style, about anything that you think could be improved. And remember, it's my way of writing the story. If you say, oh, this isn't in it, that's because I chose not to add it in. Anyways, like last time, I'm going to give you all a quick preview of the story, like maybe a page or so. And if you enjoy it, check the link down below to read it off of. I actually ended up doing Google Docs, because I said a PDF, but I realized you couldn't link PDFs in YouTube descriptions. So check the link below for the full story if you would like to read it. With that, Restless War, a story about the messenger. Waves crashed against the shore of a once vibrant town, now dilapidated by the passage of time. As most things had been following a flood of grandeur that left little space for sustaining the remaining survivors, before returning to the ever-growing ocean of toxicity and waste for new waves to crash once more. The land that did remain had been largely taken over by horrendous monsters, their thick, meaty flesh left scarred by countless battles, yet cursed to wander forever across the tiny fraction of Earth where land still persisted. They paced aimlessly for many millennia, struggling to achieve oblivion despite the constant agony plaguing their desperate bodies, while what was left of humanity equally struggled to support itself. Scattered across a handful of dying towns on the lonely islands, along the western coastline lay a lowly village, shrouded beneath barricades of drooping trees, hardly noticeable to the brain-dead beasts that roamed in the spaces between humans' outposts. Here, the young men trained tirelessly to fight back, fully aware that their efforts would be futile against the unremitting monsters, but they were driven to forge on nonetheless. Within the visibly suffering village of people who could barely sustain their own selves, let alone future generations, legends of a Western hero, a man of little description aside from being topped with a shimmering, dusty gold sedge hat, were passed on to any remnants of humanity possible, in an attempt to keep those left from giving up on their kind. Among the warriors training in the village, many of which were pitiful and powerless in comparison to the assiduous monsters lurking about the outskirts, stood a man who was visibly simple. He was garbed in the same stealthy cobalt wear as the other trainees, the same steel katana wedged against his side. But his skills far outmatched everyone's, even that of the village generals, who was admittedly a tad envious. While his mastery in battle was sharp, the limitations of what mankind can achieve were simply too restricting to do any more than down one of the ugly beasts. The ordinary yet excelled man wished to test the limits of mankind, and his potential and promise did not go unnoticed by a single soul in the village. Every morning, as all else were just rising to the cloudy, gas-ridden morning sky, he was already out on the training grounds, acting as his own harsh critic, pinpointing every mistake he could find within his actions, and doing his damnedest to see them eliminated. It was a morning similar to most. The village was brimming with melancholy lives wishing to break away from their eternal suffering, and for once be able to live with the fear of being wiped out left far behind. A calming wind blew across the dying crops and dusted soil, as the lone warrior stood performing his usual routine of pushing his limits for the survival of humanity. A singular motion, under a second, and the man was suspended in the air, roughly 20 feet, give or take, from his original position, feet cloaked in a thin layer of straw that emerged from the wound of a now toppled training dummy. So, like I said, you heard the messenger, obviously, is the dude cloaked in blue, and you heard Legends of the Western Hero. If you read further, a lot more becomes clear. There's a lot of story elements implemented from the messenger into my story. If you like my writing style, if you like where things are going, please check out in the link below the full story. It is 11 pages, so longer than the last one, if you read that or not. So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you do enjoy the story, please let me know, and also comment down below any video game scenes, or just video games in general, video game scenes, scenarios, even just characters in video games, of stories that you would like me to write about. Because I have my last one about Xenoblade Chronicles, I have one about the Sand Sea from Skyward Sword that I will be making a video about soon. I just finished up one about Rosalina's storybook from Super Mario Galaxy, and I just started one actually about Splatoon 2's Octo expansion, so I plan on doing these for a long time to come, so please leave suggestions, and if they're good enough, and if I can find a way to work them into a story, I definitely will. So thank you all for watching, thank you all for commenting if you do, and I'll see you guys next time with another video game story.